Abhay, Chaitanya Nitai Sudhita Vishwasa Kori Bhaja Bhaja. Bhaja Bhaja Bhai, Chaitanya Nitai Sudhita Vishwasa Kori Bhaja Bhaja. Vishaya Chaya Sera Se Majhiya Mukhe Bolo Hari Hari. Vishaya Chaya Sera Se Majhiya Vishaya Chariya Sera Se Majhiya Mukhe Bolo Hari Hari. देखो अरे भाई त्रिभुवन नाय मन दयाला दाता. देखो अरे भाई देखो अरे भाई त्रिभुवन नाय मन दयाला दाता. देखो अरे भाई पशुपाकी जुड़े भाषण विदरे सुनी जरा गुण गाता. पशुपाके जुड़े पशुपाकी जुड़े भाषण विदरे सुनी जरा गुण गाता. Samsare Majiya Rohili Poriya Se Pade Nahilo Asha. Samsare Majiya Samsare Majiya Rohili Poriya Se Pade Nahilo Asha. Apane karama punjaye shamana kaho he lochana dasa. Apane karama apana karama punjaye shamana kaho he lochana dasa. Parama karuna pahudhui jana nitai ghora chanda. Parama karuna English translation is there. Yeah. Thank you. Oh, that's too small. Why is that like this? We'll just move it. Yeah, the two lords, Nitai Gaurachandra, are very merciful. They are the essence of all incarnations. The specific significance of these incarnations is that they introduced a process of chanting and dancing that is simply joyful. My dear brother, I request that you just worship Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda with firm conviction and faith. If one wants to be Krishna conscious by this process, one has to give up his engagement in sense gratification. One simply has to chant Hare Krishna, Hari Hari without any motive. My dear brother, just try and examine this. Within the three worlds, there is no one like Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. Their merciful qualities are so great that upon hearing them, even birds and beasts cry and stones melt. But Lochan Das regrets that I am entrapped by sense gratification, since I have no attraction for the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. Then Yamaraj, the superintendent of death, is punishing me by not allowing me to be attracted by this movement. Hare Krishna. Dhanyavad. Now, to get to the, Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Ghora Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Ghora Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Ghora Bhakta Vrinda. It was a kirtan but not a kirtan. So we started yesterday reading the 5th chapter of Adi Leela of Chaitanya Charitamrita with some commentary. Mild, I don't know, how was commentary? Okay, Hare Krishna. We're missing Dhira Gaurav Prabhu. Where did he go? Acha. Okay. Prakratir Paravyom Name Dham Krishna Vigraha Yaiche Vibhuti Adi Gunavan. Translation: beyond the material nature lies the realm known as Paravyoma, the spiritual sky. Like Lord Krishna himself, it possesses all transcendental attributes such as the 6 opulences. Vyoma means the sky. Para means the topmost. But spiritual sky means beyond the material world. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. According to Sankhya philosophy, the material cosmos is composed of 24 elements. 5 gross material elements. What are the 5 gross material elements? I think you all know that, right? Earth, water, fire, air, and ether. Correct. The 3 subtle material elements: mind, intelligence, and false ego. Correct. The 5 knowledge acquiring senses: eyes, nose, mouth, ears, tongue, skin. Not tongue, skin. Excuse me. The 5 active senses: hearing, 5 active senses: the hands, legs, mouth, ears. What are the hair? I'm also genitals and anus. 5 active senses. And the 5 objects of sense pleasure: smell, sight, touch, sound. What else? Sight and smell is there. Smell, sight, taste, sound, and touch. And the Mahatattva, the total material energy. Empiric philosophers, unable to go beyond these elements, speculate that anything beyond them must be avyakta or inexplicable. Avyakta also means unmanifest. For it is explained in the Bhagavad Gita as the eternal Sanatana nature. if you don't mind. Beyond the manifested and unmanifested existence of material nature, Vyakta Vyakta is the Sanatana nature, which is called the Paravyoma, or the spiritual sky. Since that nature, Sanatana, is eternal, that wasn't mentioned. Since that nature is spiritual in quality, there are no qualitative differences there. Everything there is spiritual, everything is good, and everything possesses the spiritual form of Sri Krishna himself. That's a bit difficult to understand. Everything possesses the spiritual form of Sri Krishna himself. Who can explain that one? That means Sarupya, the same form as Krishna. But then they have four-arm form and Krishna has a two-arm. Okay, we'll just leave it. That spiritual sky is the manifested internal potency of Sri Krishna. It is distinct from the material sky manifested by his external potency. So, Antaranga Shakti, Bahiranga Shakti. Antaranga, internal. Antar means in. Bahir is out. Bahir Anga. Anga is a limb. Antaranga, the limb inside, the part inside. But it is also inside his own energy. The external energy is also his energy, isn't it? The external energy, the material energy, is manifested by Krishna, but he remains separate from that. In other words, Naham Prakasha Sarvasya Yogamaya Samavritaha in Gita. Krishna is not manifest to everyone in the material world. In the spiritual world, they're interacting, the Ananta Koti Jivas, countless Jivatmas are interacting with Krishna. Always, constantly. So, let's go ahead. The all-pervading Brahman, composed of the impersonal glowing rays of Sri Krishna, exists in the spiritual world with the Vaikuntha planets. We can get some idea of that spiritual world by a comparison to the material sky. For the rays of the sun in the material sky can be compared to the Brahmajyoti, the glowing rays of the personality of Godhead. In the Brahmajyoti, there are unlimited Vaikuntha planets, which are spiritual and therefore self-luminous, with a glow many times greater than that of the sun. The personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, his innumerable planetary portions, and the portions of his plenary portions dominate each Vaikuntha planet. In the highest region of the spiritual sky is called Krishna Loka, which has three divisions, namely Dwaraka, Mathura, and Goloka or Gokula. That blinding light of the sun that is greater than the sun, we cannot see that in the material world. We see the sun. So something is blocking that, right? Because if it's greater than the sun, then that should come here also, but doesn't. So what is that? Viraja, right? Viraja. There's a river dividing the spiritual world from the material world. To a gross materialist, this kingdom of God, Vaikuntha, is certainly a mystery. But to an ignorant man, everything is a mystery for want of sufficient knowledge. The kingdom of God is not a myth. Even the material planets which float over our head in the millions and billions are still a mystery to the ignorant. Material scientists are now attempting to penetrate this mystery, and the day may come when the people of this earth will be able to travel in outer space and see the variegatedness of these millions of planets with their own eyes. In every planet there is as much material variegatedness as we find in our own planet. So this is something wonderful that Prabhupada taught that materialists don't believe. Yes, materialists believe that there are many stars. They call them stars, right? The Western, at least the Western materialists. They look with a telescope, right? Their very powerful telescopes are there. And they see stars. They don't see planets. They only see how many planets? 9? 9 planets? But Prabhupada said there are many millions and billions of planets. And there is life on those planets. So as far as we know, there's only life here on this planet. And people think that their particular place is everything, wherever they are, whether it's India, USA, China, South Africa, whatnot. So ultimately, we are all very tiny. There was years and years ago, one of our godbrothers, he was a good lecturer. And he used, in his lectures, he used to say that there are millions and billions of planets in the universe. And, unlimited living entities. And out of those millions and millions of planets, there's the Earth planet. And out of all the places on the Earth planet, there's India. And in all the 500,000 of villages in India, there's Hyderabad. I was in Hyderabad, right, at the time. And in Hyderabad, there are how many people? Now it's more than 1 crore, more than 10 million. Right now it's like 12 to 15 million. And then of all those 10 to 15 million, one man says, I am God. This is how he showed it was absurd that a human being should think he's God. But the Mayavadi philosophy is like that. You are God. Or as one of the false gods said, I am God and you are God. I know I'm God. You don't know you're God. Prabhupada was, I'll kick them on the face. Let's see how they're God. Okay, and now we're coming up to what I just described. This planet is but, and this planet Earth is but an insignificant spot in cosmic structure. Yet foolish men, puffed up by a false sense of scientific advancement, have concentrated their energy in the pursuit of so-called economic development on this planet. Not knowing of the variegated economic facilities available on other planets. According to modern astronomy, the gravity of the moon is different from that of Earth. Therefore, one who goes to the moon will be able to pick up large weights and jump vast distances. In the Ramayana, one of the mispronunciation, very common, right? Ramayana. Why do they pronounce it like that? Because in English, there is no and In Sanskritam, all the Indian languages, you have e, are the vowels. But in English, it's A-I-O. What is it? A-I-O, A-E-I-O, U-Y. Oh, Y is also not, it's something half vowel, half consonant. So they say Ramayana, difficult. So in the Ramayana, Hanuman is described as being able to lift huge weights as heavy as hills and jump over the ocean. Modern astronomy has confirmed that this is indeed possible. The disease of the modern civilized man is his disbelief in everything in the revealed scriptures. Faithless non-believers cannot make progress in spiritual realization, for they cannot understand the spiritual potency. The small fruit of a banyan contains hundreds of seeds and in each seed is the potency to produce another banyan tree with the potency to produce millions more of such fruits. This law of nature is visible before us, although how it works is beyond our understanding. This is but an insignificant example of the potency of Godhead. There are many similar phenomena that no scientist can explain. Everything, in fact, is inconceivable, for the truth is revealed only to the proper persons. Although there are varieties of personalities, from Brahma down to the insignificant ant, all of whom are living beings, their development of knowledge is different. Therefore, we have to gather knowledge from the right source. Indeed, in reality, we can get knowledge only from the Vedic sources. The four Vedas with their supplementary Puranas, the Mahabharata, the Ramayana, and their corollaries, which are known as Smritis, are all authorized sources of knowledge. If we are at all to gather knowledge, we must gather it from these sources without hesitation. Again, I'm issuing a warning here. I think yesterday, day before yesterday, I said Savadhan. Savadhan is Hindi for warning. Savadhanam, Sanskritam. You will hear devotees in our movement. You will hear devotees in our movement sitting on a chair like this and saying that we don't need the Vedas. You've heard that? No? Well, I have. There's no need of studying the Vedas. We have the Bhagavatam, right? You've heard that. But that's not what Prabhupada has written here. The four Vedas, the supplementary Puranas, Mahabharata, Ramayana, and their corollaries, which are known as Smritis, are all authorized sources of knowledge. So, if you hear anyone tell you that we don't need to study the Vedas, they have a kind of a misconception. Shri Radha Madan Mohan Lalita Vishaka ki, Shri Krishna Balaram Sandipani Muni ki, Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakra ki, Shri Prahlad Narasimha ki. Hare Krishna. Sarva Devebhyo Namaha. A lot of devas are here. A lot of deities. If we are at all to gather knowledge, we must gather it from these sources without hesitation. So Vedas are not to be rejected, even though we're not studying them. Oh, oops, we should be. Later. Future generations, right? Brahmanas in India study Vedas. North India, it's getting a little weak. South India, it's still there. But because there's no king, because there is no Raja who used to support the Brahmanas, it's going away. It's still there. Still there. Varnashram system meant that kings would support Brahmanas. Since that topic came into my mind, I think there's a good example of that in Srimad Bhagavatam, Dashamaskanda, 10th canto. Who knows the story of the king giving to the Brahmanas? There are many. Yeah, Nriga. That's what came into my mind. So the story, who knows the story of Nriga? No. My God. We have a long way to go. We have a long way to go. Oh, you who are wearing yellow, you're new. you're not expected to know. But those who are wearing saffron and they don't know, all I can say is Hare Krishna. So in the 10th canto, Dashmaskand, Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Krishna's son Samba went to his father, Lord Krishna, and said, there's a very wonderful lizard in a well. And please help us, we can't get that lizard out of the well. So Lord Krishna came to the well and he extended his arm, and Yogeshwara, he has all mystic powers. He pulled the lizard out and brought the lizard out, and the lizard changed into a devata, demigod. He bowed down to Krishna. And then Krishna said, who are you? Please tell us your story. So he said, my name is Nriga. And I was a very charitable Raja, king. Any Brahmin who came to me, I would give him whatever he wanted. If he wanted a wife, I would give him a wife. If he wanted cows, I would give him cows. If he wanted gold, I would give him gold. So this was the Vedic system. Brahmanas were busy studying Shastras, Vedas, Vedangas, Puranas, Itihasas, etc. Dharma Shastras, Darshan Shastras. So, how did you become a lizard? Krishna asked. How did that happen? So Nriga said, one time I gave cows to a Brahmin, and his cows entered the herd of another Brahmin who I had also given cows. And they had a dispute over the cow. This is my cow, no, this is my cow. And they brought that dispute to me. And so I said, look, you give me that one cow that you're fighting over, and I'll give you each 100,000 cows. But those Brahmins couldn't agree, no. And then they went away. And like all of us, King Nriga died, left his body. And so when he left his body, he went to Yamalok, Yamaraj. So Yamaraj said, what do you want first? Do you want to enjoy your punya, the results of your pious credits, or do you want to enjoy your papa? Do you want to suffer for your sins? So King Nriga thought, I did a lot of punya. I did a lot of pious activity. I gave cows, I gave gold, I gave wives. Whatever Brahmins wanted, I fulfilled. I must have a lot of, enjoyment coming. So let me suffer whatever. I haven't done anything wrong. I followed Shastras. And so Yamaraj turned him into a lizard because those Brahmins were unhappy with him and he couldn't satisfy them, so he had to become a lizard. So karma phal is like that, the results of our activities in the material world. But he had done so many pious activities that he could see Lord Krishna face to face. So all was not lost for King Nriga. It's an interesting story in the Bhagavatam. This is a really long purport, huh? Revealed knowledge may in the beginning be unbelievable because of our paradoxical desire to verify everything with our tiny brains. But the speculative means of attaining knowledge is always imperfect. The perfect knowledge propounded in the revealed scriptures is confirmed by the great acharyas who have left ample commentations upon them. None of these acharyas has disbelieved in the Shastras. One who disbelieves in the Shastras is an atheist, and we should not consult an atheist, however great he may be. A staunch believer in the Shastras with all their diversities is the right person from whom to gather real knowledge. Such knowledge may seem inconceivable in the beginning, but when put forward by the proper authority, its meaning is revealed, and then one no longer has any doubts about it. Prabhu, you just came last night. You missed. I made a comment in the class. I'll repeat it for you because it's a fun, pure speculation. And the pure speculation is, you already heard it, everybody except for Ghosh Prabhu. Some government's intelligence agency put their operatives into ISKCON to destroy it from within. You heard that rumor, right? It's about 50 years old or something. So I think, what Prabhupada wrote here can teach us how to find those operatives. Because those who want to destroy this movement will contradict what Prabhupada taught here in this purport. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Maharaj, that makes sense? Am I going off? Did I say something wrong? One who disbelieves in Shastras is an atheist. So, there's a joke I don't want to repeat, but I'll repeat half of the joke. The first part of the joke you can speculate, because I can't say it in the public. But the second part of the joke, in Sanskrit, joke is called chatu chanaka, being a little clever or something. So, the second part of the joke is the ultimate authority. What's the first? Can you guess what the first part of it is? Ultimate blank authority and ultimate authority. The ultimate authority is, what's the ultimate authority? We just read it here. Shastras. According to, there is his deity there, Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. This is his purport. This is what Prabhupada wrote. Very heavy, huh? One who disbelieves in the Shastras is an atheist. And we should not consult an atheist, however great he may be. Who are the greatest atheists? The Nobel laureates? Prabhupada made a joke. Give a donkey a Nobel Prize. Right? You remember that? You don't remember that? Yeah. Well, we can research it. He had here no reverence for modern scientists. No reverence. He wanted our godbrother, late lamented godbrother, who in a few months, it'll be 20 years, Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj passed away in 2006. And I remember Prabhupada in Bombay, Juhu, showing his book, which we don't have anymore. I don't know why. The Scientific Basis of Krishna Consciousness. My disciple has written this book. Prabhupada used to meet. I was a humble pot scrubber. Satsvarup had me scrub the pots. He was cooking for Prabhupada in these tiny pots. And I came in because he knew me from Chicago. So I was scrubbing the pots. So after that, at 4 o'clock, Prabhupada used to meet the guests in Juhu. And he was showing this book. This is 1974. So it'll be 52 years ago. My disciple wrote this book, Scientific Basis of Krishna Consciousness. So yes, Prabhupada wanted to preach to the scientists. and tell them that they're mudhas, they're fools, because they don't accept the revealed scriptures. They don't accept Shastras. And this is one purport. Wow, this is a purport I am going to use in my battle against, what is it called? Ashastriya. Or those concepts that are not in Shastras. I guess it's almost 6 years ago, I was in Bangalore for Gaur Purnima. And I went to, there's a Sanskrit college there called the Purna Pragya Vidyapith. How many of you have heard the name of the Purna Pragya Vidyapith? Zero. Nobody. Bangalore is far away from Ujjain. So the Madhva Sampradaya established a Sanskrit college in Bangalore called the Purna Pragya, was the name of Madhva Acharya. He was called Purna. Purna means full and Pragya means intelligence, right? Purna Pragya Vidyapith. I inquired about the retired principal, Haridas Bhatt. Oh, he's living in home, it's 10 minutes walk from here. Well, let's go and meet him. So I went there and I told him, our governing body had met a few months earlier in Tirupati in 2019. And they want to introduce women Diksha Gurus. And the words that came out of his mouth, no, one word, Shastriya. That's what he told me. So, Hare Krishna. We are related to the Madhvas, right? Madhavendra Puri was a Madhva, supposedly. Well, we follow the Madhva. Dvaita, Chintya Veda is another explanation of Dvaita. Right? The Atma and Paramatma are different. Actually, all scholars of Vedic Shastras who know Samskrita Bhasha, because all the Vedic Shastras are in Sanskritam. And 6 Goswamis, direct, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Shikshastakam is in Sanskritam. And the 6 Goswamis, they all wrote everything in Sanskritam. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, every day we're Guru Vashtakam, right, in Mangalarati, it's in Sanskritam. Baladev commented on Vedanta Sutras, Govinda Bhasha, it's in Sanskritam. So, whether they're Ramanuja followers, Madhva followers, Ramanujacharya, day before yesterday was his disappearance day. We read a little about his life, very little actually, but how he challenged Mayavad. We read that. Yadava Prakash was trying to explain Upanishads as being impersonal and no qualities, nirguna. And that was challenged by Ramanujacharya. But the challenge is based on Shastras, not on speculation. You have to prove your point by Shastra Pramanas, evidence from Shastras. We'll accept anything if it's in Vedic Shastras. That's our philosophy. There has to be a pramana, right? For bhakti also, there has to be a pramana. A whole Gita is the pramana for bhakti. But it's also a pramana for varnashram dharma. And there's an attempt, I think those might be those government operatives, maybe, speculating here. But they say that varnashram is, we don't want varnashram. You know this? Oh, well, yeah, they say it's the caste system. So we don't want that. We don't want the varnashram based only by birth. That's true. But we still want varnashram. Why? Why do we want varnashram? Because Krishna, remember him? Remember Krishna? Because if you say varnashram is the caste system, and one of these leaders actually, after one of them told me this in Juhu in 2014, varnashram is the caste system. And then the other leader sitting with him said, and he's still a leader, I don't even want to hear the V word. Can you believe that? That means he doesn't want to hear the Gita. 4:13 in the Gita, I created the varnashram. Chatur varnam maya shrishtam. Actually, it's varna. Chatur varnam. He didn't say ashram, actually. Krishna said, I created the 4 castes. You can say caste. Prabhupada didn't use the word caste. He used the word division of labor. And not word, but the expression division of labor. The British coined this derogatory caste system. It's horrible. You all become Christians. Why should you follow your primitive religion? That was the British, still going on. Still going on. Chatur varnam maya shrishtam. Krishna says, I created this division of labor. And if someone has the name Swami or Goswami, then sannyasi is part of the ashramas, right? So I don't want to hear the V word, varnashram. How can somebody say that and be a leader and have faith in Shastras? Can't. Those are the operatives that some intelligence agencies might have placed in our movement. I'm speculating, so it may not be true. I'm joking here. This is a really great purport. Wow. One who disbelieves in the Shastras is an atheist. So you can't say, I don't want to hear the word and accept what Prabhupada has written here. Isn't it? Am I wrong? I don't think so. But I'm willing to be proven wrong. Willing. Convince me. Hare Krishna. The perfect knowledge propounded in the revealed scriptures is confirmed by the great acharyas who have left ample commentations upon them. None of these acharyas disbelieved in Shastras. So therefore, this joke was made. Ultimate authority. Ultimate authority is not a group of people. It's Vedic Shastras. And great acharyas have left ample commentations. So there shouldn't be any problem. But there is. What is the problem? Kali Yuga. The age of confusion. The age of confusion. Here's the first confusion, and we're all confused. We don't think it's important to learn Sanskritam. We changed our religion. Oh, there's another white body here. We changed our religion. We changed our dress. Now in India, to become a devotee, you change your dress. Previously, you didn't have to. I remember going to Kerala in 1984. That's not that long ago, right? You didn't see anybody in a pant and a shirt. Everybody had a veshti, like a lungi, but it's white cotton. Like a dhoti, but there's no dhoti. It's not panchakacham. Panchakacham, they call it. 5 folds. Now, finished. Everyone is pants and shirts. where this pants and shirt came from. You know, there's movies of Mahatma Gandhi, right? They're how many years old? 80-year-old movie. You won't see anyone wearing a pant and a shirt at that time. All dhotis. What happened? I think the government passed a law that if you wear a dhoti, someone will come up and slap you. Right? What happened? What happened to the dhotis? They're expensive. That's true. I remember buying a dhoti in Juhu. I was in Juhu and I went to Villa Parle. There was a khadi shop. And 19 rupees I got 52 years ago. 19 rupees. Same dhoti today, how much it costs? At least 1,000 rupees, probably 2,000 rupees. Crazy. What happened to Vedic culture? British ruled India for 100 years. They couldn't make the Hindus give up their culture. Before that, Muslim ruled for 800 years. They converted a lot of people. That's a fact. That's a fact. But somehow this Vedic culture survived. But after independence from England, everyone became British. Or at least in dress. How did that happen? Prabhupada wanted his disciples to wear Vedic dress. Maybe I shouldn't talk too much. Because it's hard to wear Vedic dress in India, what in America, right? It's hard to wear here. They look at you like you're crazy. This guy in a dhoti. If you go to the train station or the airport, you don't see any dhotis anymore. Hard to see the sadhus. There used to be lots of sadhus, some so-called sadhus, right? You don't see hardly anymore. Okay. Time is up. Where does the time go? We didn't read one shloka today. Okay, next shloka. Yesterday we read, 15 shlokas, or 14, 13. Sarvaga Ananta Vibhu Vaikuntadi Dham Krishna Krishna Avatarer Tahani Vishram. That Vaikuntha region is all-pervading, infinite, and supreme. It is the residence of Lord Krishna and his incarnations. This chapter describes Lord Balaram and Lord Nityananda. That's why we started this. Tahar Upari Bhage, Krishna Loka Kyati. Upari means above. Dwaraka, Mathura, Gokul, Tri Vidatva Sthiti. In the highest region of that spiritual sky is the spiritual planet called Krishna Loka. It has three divisions, Dwaraka, Mathura, and Gokula. Sarvopari Shri Gokula, Raja Loka Dham. Sarvopari means the topmost. Shri Goloka Shweta Dweep Vrindavan Nam. Shri Gokula, the highest of all, is also called Raja, Goloka, Shweta Dweep, and Vrindavan. One place having 5 names. Sarvaga Ananta Vibhu Krishna Tanusam Upari Adho Vyapi Ache Nahika Niyam. Nahika Niyam. Like the transcendental body of Lord Krishna, Gokula is all-pervading, infinite and supreme. It expands both above and below without any restriction. Purport. Oh, looks like long purport here. Ooh. I don't think in 3 minutes I can finish this. Maharaj, what do you say? Read the whole purport or leave it? Pardon? Okay, I have your permission. Srila Jiva Goswami, the great authority and philosopher in the line of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, has discussed the abode of Krishna in his Krishna Sandarbha. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord refers to my abode. Srila Jiva Goswami, examining the nature of Krishna's abode, refers to the Skanda Purana, which states, Ya yatha bhuvi vartante puryo bhagavatav priyaha tas tatha santi vaikunte tattal lilartam advitaha. The abodes of Godhead in the material world, such as Dwarka, Mathura, and Gokula, are facsimiles representing the abodes of Godhead in the kingdom of God. Vaikuntha. The unlimited spiritual atmosphere of the Vaikuntha Dham is far above and beyond the material cosmos. This is confirmed in the Swayambhuva Tantra in a discussion between Lord Shiva and Parvati regarding the effect of chanting the mantra of 14 syllables. There it is stated, Nana Kalpa Lata Kirnam Vaikuntam Vyapakam Smaret Adas Samyam Gunanam Cha Prakriti Sarvakaranam. While chanting the mantra, one should always remember the spiritual world, which is very extensive and full of desire trees that can yield anything one desires. Below that Vaikuntha region is the potential material energy which causes the material manifestation. Below Vaikuntha, the places of the pastimes of Lord Krishna, such as Dwaraka, Mathura, and Vrindavan, eternally and independently exist in Krishna Loka. They are actual abodes of Lord Krishna, and there is no doubt that they are situated above the material cosmic manifestation. The abode known as Vrindavan or Gokul is also known as Goloka. The Brahma Samhita states that Gokula, the highest region of the kingdom of God, resembles a lotus flower with thousands of petals. The outer portion of that lotus-like planet is a square place known as Shweta Dweep. Shweta means white. Dweep is island, white island. In the inner portion of Gokula, there is an elaborate arrangement for Sri Krishna's residence with his eternal associates such as Nanda and Yashoda. Yashoda. Yashoda, what does it mean? One who gives yash. Yash is fame. Giver of fame. Da. What's it called in Sanskritam? Do you know? It's a samas. Samasta padam. It's two words merged into one. Giver of fame. Da, giver. Da, dan. Giving in charity. Yashaha. Fame. There's a particular type of samas. No? Nobody's a student of Vyakaranam here. Vyakaranam means grammar. Nobody. No one can guess which samas. There's a number of different samasas, a different type of compound words in Sanskritam. This is called Upapad Tatpurush Samas. Upapad Tatpurush Samas. I'll give you one of them. Besides Yashoda, Padapa. What does that mean? Padapa. Tree. Why? Pa means to drink. And pada is the foot. Who drinks with their foot? A tree. Tree drinks but through its roots. Padapa. Yashoda. Narada. Narmada. Narmada River is here in Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat. Narma means soft. Da, giving softness. Narada is something like that? No, Narada is one word. No, there are other. Huh? Burida, giving fame, Buri giving a lot, Burida. There are many of them. That's how you learn the language actually, if you go on remembering the different forms. That transcendental abode exists by the energy of Sri Baladeva, who is the original whole of Shesha or Ananta. The Tantras also confirm this description by stating that the abode of Sri Ananta Dev, or Ananta Deva, a plenary portion of Baladev or Baladeva, is called the kingdom of God. Ananta Dev and Baladev are Hindi and Bengali, and Ananta Deva, Baladeva is Sanskritam. Vrindavan Dham is the innermost abode within the quadrangular realm of Shvetadvip, which lies outside the boundary of Gokula Vrindavan. According to Jiva Goswami, Vaikuntha is also called Brahmaloka. The Narada Pancharatra, in a statement concerning the mystery of Vijaya, describes Tat Sarvopuri Gokule Tatra Loko Pari Swayam Viharet Paramanandi Govindo Tula Nayaka. The predominator of the gopis, Govinda, the principal deity of Gokula, always enjoys himself in a place called Goloka, in the topmost part of the spiritual sky. We exceeded the time. From the authoritative evidence cited by Jiva Goswami, we may conclude that Krishna Loka is the supreme planet in the spiritual sky, which is far beyond the material cosmos. For the enjoyment of transcendental variety, the pastimes of Krishna there have three divisions, and these pastimes are performed in the three abodes, Dwaraka, Mathura, and Gokula. When Krishna descends to this universe, he enjoys the pastimes in a place of the same name. These places on earth are non-different from those original abodes, for they are facsimiles of those original holy places in the transcendental world. They are as good as Sri Krishna himself and are equally worshipable. Lord Chaitanya declared that Lord Krishna, who represents himself as the son of the king of Vraja, is worshipable, and that Vrindavan Dham is equally worshipable. Hare Krishna. Any questions? Otherwise we'll... Yes, Prabhu. Is there a mic? Yes, mic is just coming. Thank you. Throat problem. Understood.
His question, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
We see when Lord Krishna delivered devotee, they took from us Gandharva. But when he killed demons, they merged in his body. What is significant with these two varieties?
Say again the... Oh, yeah. I think ultimately he would get liberation because he saw Krishna directly. So maybe temporarily he became a Gandharva. Gandharvas also have to die. And so what happens after that? Just like Prabhupada used to say, and I don't know where that's in Shastras, but if you die in Vrindavan, but you were sinful, then you have to be born as a monkey in Vrindavan or a dog in Vrindavan. So this wasn't a punishment though, being a Gandharva. It's not a punishment as such. Because Trayi Vidya Mam Somapaf Puta Papa Yajñaya Ishtva Swargatim Prartayante Te Punyam Asadya Surendra Lokam Ashnanti Divyan Divideva Bhogan. You know that verse, 920 in Gita. So, if one performs punya and follows the Vedic system of sacrifices, then he'll go to the heavenly planets, which is where the Gandharvas live. They're like an Upadevata, right? They're not a Devata fully demigod, but a demigod, that we would say. So that's the result of some punya. But generally means Tetam bhuktva svargalokam vishalam chine punye martyalokam vishanti. You have to come back from Swargaloka and be born again in this material world. So what's the fun of going there for temporary pleasure? But some go there, some go. We may not make it to Vaikuntha. Oh, Prabhupada wrote a letter to a disciple who left his body. He was a very well-known, in ISKCON, his name was Jayananda. You heard his name. So he passed away 6-8 months before Prabhupada. So Prabhupada was told that Jayananda left his body. So Prabhupada wrote in the letter was an instruction to the disciples who were still here, that if you had any material desire, you would have gone to the heavenly planets and enjoyed for 20,000 years. But I know you had no material desire, so you went back home, back to Godhead. Right? Remember that letter? It's very famous among Prabhupada disciples, but that was 50 years ago. 48 years ago, right? So maybe Nriga had some material desires. He went to the heavenly planets. But he saw Krishna. So ultimately, face to face, Krishna touched him. We believe that, as you said, the impersonalists get to merge in the body, or when Krishna killed the demons, according to the 10th canto, Dashamaskanda, something merged into Krishna's body, right? A light came out of their body and went into Krishna. So Prabhupada commented that they also got liberation because they were directly killed by Krishna. So, what is that called? I guess it's a special merit or something. Right? Somebody gets an honorary degree, or I don't know how to make a parallel of that, because generally to get liberation, you have to perform penances and austerities like, what is it, Prishni and Sutapa and Prishni? 50,000 years of austerities to get Krishna as their son. I mean, yesterday I couldn't fast fully on Ekadasi. I had, Ekadasi Falahari Prasad. I wanted to fast, but my mind, I couldn't control. And so, one day of tapasya, I couldn't perform. Not speak of 50,000 years of tapasya to get Krishna as their son. Hare Krishna. It's not so easy to have Krishna as your son. It's not so easy to go to Goloka. At least we should have faith in Shastras. At least. Even that is difficult. That is difficult because of Maya. Everyone is being taught here in this country, if you follow the government syllabus, that your grandfather's grandfather was a monkey, right? Darwin, speculation, how humans came. But according to Shastras, all the forms of life were created by Brahma, Prajapati. What to do, Kali Yuga? Okay. That was one question. Any other question? I have to, there is another question. Okay. The mic is there.
Hare Krishna. Prabhupada, in one of the purports, Prabhupada has written that a time will come when scientists will be able to go to higher planets and see the variegatedness and economic development.
Even in today's purport, he said, right?
Yes, but there we have to take, because in many places, other places he has said that we don't have the fit body to enter into the higher planets. So we have to take birth there. So it is like little contradiction. Is it possible for the scientists to go enter and see in this body?
That's a good point, because Prabhupada did say that in this body you cannot go to the moon planet, right? So the moon that we see in the sky, according to Vedas, is after the sun. And the modern scientists say we went there in 3 days and came back, right? So Prabhupada didn't believe that they went to the moon we see in the sky. Now they say they went to some planet. Maybe they're either cheating, because some people say they made it, film in a TV studio inside, in underground or something. There's stories like that. Now, even if you believe they went to an asteroid, there's these flying rocks in the sky, right? Say they went there. What did they bring back for humanity? What have they done with all the millions and billions rupees or dollars or whatever they spent? What was the fruit of their endeavor? Rocks. Moon rocks. That's what we have. And they lost the rocks? Really? Weren't they put on display in a museum somewhere? Oh, that's... You see, even if they went there in 3 days, which is impossible if you take the Vedic Shastras, what was the benefit of that? Yeah, nothing. Zero. So, see, there are different types of bodies. Like a fish can live in water, right? So we cannot live in the water. We'll die drowning. But the fish has a body that can live in the water. We can see that. Or a bird can fly in the sky. And some birds can fly, tremendous heights. You can't see that also. Anyway, what Prabhupada said was there are different bodies to live on those planets. Say, in the sun, we believe there's Surya Dev. And how can he live in that planet with it's all fire? But he has a body, a different type of a body. Like a fish or a bird has a different body. The point Prabhupada made in the purport, we don't have perfect knowledge. Now, scientists are saying we'll create life in the laboratory. So very rich people, they froze their body. After they died, they made a will. My body should be put into a deep freeze. Right? You heard of this? So when the scientists discover life, I'll come back. They'll revive me. So this we call a post-dated check. I say, I will buy that hat from you and I'll give you 1 million rupees. Here's a check for 10 years from now. Would you take that check? No. So scientists have promised so many things, but they can't deliver. Then Atma is not material. Atma is spiritual. So this faith, Vedas are from time immemorial, and Upanishads are part of the Vedas. So spiritual knowledge we get from Upanishads mainly. That Nityo Nityanam Chaitanas Chaitananam. So we are Nitya and we are Chaitana. That is a spiritual quality, not a material quality. Material, everything changes. And with all of their money and governments supporting scientific research, they couldn't create life in the laboratory, right? Couldn't do it. They have imperfect knowledge. So, yes, they make ships, they make rockets that travel fast. Even an airplane is like a rocket. It's going so fast you can't imagine, right? Calcutta in 2 hours or less. How is it possible? So they have some material advancement. But that advancement is very limited. And even if they went to a very far away planet where there are living beings, they couldn't see them with their eyes. That was Prabhupada's point. Because they have a different type of a body. You can't see it with these eyes. Or all the planets in the sky, we can't see them. We have a limited capacity to understand. So Shastra Chakshu, you should see through the eyes of Shastra. That's the Vedic teaching. Seeing means understanding. You may not be able to actually pratyaksha darshanam. You may not see directly like that, but you can understand through Vedic knowledge. Hare Krishna. I also have to get going like you all do. Sri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai. We didn't have directly any more about Nityananda today. Even though this chapter is about Nityananda. Haribol. What time is the Kirtan Mela? It's evening time. Today and tomorrow? Prize distribution is tomorrow morning? Okay. 8:45. Morning is free. Hare Krishna.